I planned for this to be the second to last podcast, but as many things in this journey has been, everything doesn't have to happen exactly how you want it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AOTO podcast. I am your host, Beto, also known as Luis. This is my first time doing a solo cast, so I just wanted to kind of get on here and touch upon my experiences between this month and let the people know me a little bit better, I guess, and also give out all my secrets that I've learned from this month on how to become a better artist, creative, and I think just how to better attack your dreams. This is crazy. This is just me talking on the mic. Like, I haven't heard my voice enough. Well, thank y'all for one of the most incredible months of my life. Thank you to everybody who has participated in June in Jersey. I love you all and appreciate y'all to no fucking end. If you want to know more about me and kind of like get to know me more, definitely go check out my podcast with SULLYBOP'S. Shout out Ryan. He has an amazing podcast called BOPCAST, and that was the first time where I really got to express who I am as a person, as an artist, as a creative, and my journey. So thank you so much, Ryan. But enough about that. I wanted to talk about a couple things today of how to be the best creative / artist and kind of the beginning foundational steps that you will need to succeed in this industry. And if you haven't heard any of these stuff before, if you have a notepad to take these notes down and even just jot down thoughts as you're listening to this podcast, I think that's one of the most important things you can do for yourself. So I'll just quickly run through what we're going to go through in this podcast. We're going to go through chasing your happiness, self-love, and then those are kind of just like the human characteristics that we're going to go through of what it takes to become an artist creator. And then we're just going to go through basic marketing, networking, being a good human being, saying yes to everything, knowing where you are in your journey and what that means for you, time management / getting organized, and the people around you and the person you speak to in the mirror. Some of these stuff I have written down, and some of the stuff I'm kind of just go on the fly. So I guess we'll kind of just get into it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is chasing your happiness. Before you even start going for your dreams, before you start wildly just trying to attack everything at once, you need to figure out what makes you happy, what drives you, what makes those ambitions for you crazy, you know? So I'll just read out what I wrote here. Finding what makes you the happiest in life is going to be a key part of the foundation of what fuels your ambition to pursue your goals. In plain English, you ain't gonna do the work if it's not something that you want to do with all your heart. I knew personally from a young age that no matter what I did in life, it would involve music in some capacity. And I tried so many things before I figured out what I actually loved. And it's okay, explore, try everything, y'all. Like when I was in high school, Jesus, like when I started out this journey, I didn't know how the fuck like anything was gonna work out, you know. Like I started playing euphonium and I thought I was gonna play in the Philharmonic, but like while I was playing euphonium in high school, you know, I was in choir, I was in jazz band, I was in concert band, I was in the musicals, I even did track and field for a fucking while, y'all. I didn't even really want to do it. It was kind of my uncle wanted me to do it anyway. That's the fucking point, y'all. Try everything, see what makes you happy, and see what kind of fuels you the most. Like you never know where you're going to land. Like for example, if I wasn't doing the music shit, yo, I would be in theater, no problem. I love acting and singing, yo. Like that's a huge passion of mine that I hope one day to tap back into. But for now, like I know what my destiny definitely has me podcasting and working in the studio that I'm in right now. So yeah. Um, here's a thing to mention too. Why this is one of the first things that I say chase your happiness is because in my life I found that the family and friends that I have the family that and friends that I have who have not, like, in quote unquote, made it, or who are struggling to reach their goals, is part because they're doing something that is not actually what they want to do. They're either doing it for the money or doing it for what others thought was best for them. And like I said, at the end of the day, you really only have yourself. You really only have yourself, and you really only are doing things for yourself. Like, of course, you have family around you, and of course, they want what's best for you, but what's best for you is what makes you happiest. And like I said, you could go into so many side conversations of, like, like, oh, like, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, yada yada this. And sometimes you're gonna break your family's heart for what you want to do. I had an interesting conversation with I forget who I had on the podcast was talking about this, but how college isn't for you. uh TRIH try. He was talking about, like, school's not necessarily for everybody. And I think if you have a plan, oh, we'll get into having a plan and everything, but if chasing your happiness does not involve college, then that's going to be a sacrifice that you need to take on the chin while you're figuring out. I think this kind of perfectly segues into this next one. Self-love. I was having an interesting conversation with one of my best friends. His name is Brendan. He's been on the podcast before, Brendan Hout, about self-love and knowing yourself enough to completely just know, how can I say this right? Knowing what's best for you and completely just going for it. It's not the best way to put it. Accepting who you are is a lot of what self-love is. And what comes with that is, like, not letting what others judge upon you affect you. And that's, like, that's the hardest thing to do. Self-love is really a journey that you're gonna have to go through. And how it ties into finding your happiness is, and a lot of times you start to kind of hate who you are because of what other people are thinking about you, because they're judging you, what your parents want for you, and you don't necessarily, it's a part of finding yourself as well. Self-love encompasses a lot more than what I'm just saying, and honestly I'm kind of just blanking out, but it's a big step. And if there's any questions for anything that I'm talking about, because like I said, this podcast is kind of just came out of nowhere, and I thought it was just important to talk about, and the other things I will go into big detail about. But if you have any questions about self-love and how to get there, please DM me, please hit up my line, because I know I'm kind of blanking out here and kind of just going off the rip. I'm just going to move into the next thing. Marketing. Guys, so as an artist, right, once you find what makes you happy, and for example, we're gonna just strictly stick with, like, musicians for now, okay, or creators. So if you find out that making content or just making art makes you happy, then great. And now you have enough self-love to kind of go pursue that and not care what other people think. Now you're almost fucking unstoppable. Like, these are some of the two most foundational parts of what will make you successful, because now you know what you want to do, and now you don't give a fuck what other people think about what you do. Now you can focus on bigger things. And this first thing is marketing. And marketing all has to do with how to promote yourself and how to get your message out to the masses. Excuse me. Promoting yourself and getting yourself out to the masses mainly has to do with social media today. And It's basically a lot of DIY, but it doesn't necessarily just have to be on social media. It could be through friends. So when you're starting off in your process, you'll find that most of the people that are fucking with your shit are usually going to be like your friends, your family, and that's all great. But putting stuff out consistently is insane. It's all about consistency in this game. So for example, you've seen in this month that I've been posting every single day for 30 days. And this would be day 28 when I post this up. I've been posting consistently 4 posts a day on my Instagram for 30 days. And I'm going to just read some analytics for you guys. I'm not going to hide anything from you guys because honestly, I don't think any of this stuff is crazy. It's kind of just putting in the work. And a lot of this stuff, when you find in DIY land, you're going to all do this yourself and it sucks. But again, I'm just going to touch upon social media and then word of mouth. So why don't I share with you some of my analytics? I told you guys that. So when it came to the podcast this month, I had already previously planned posting 4 posts a day on Instagram at least, and that consisted of the Polaroid that I take for the podcast and then 3 reels. And those are 4 posts, and I decided you have to really look into the social media science behind it. If you could go on YouTube and search up social media marketing and just fucking flood your mind with these YouTube videos and see what different people are doing with the algorithm. It sucks because on social media you really have to, it changes almost weekly, dude. It fucking sucks. Like there's new updates to reels, there's new updates to tags. Do hashtags matter? Do keywords matter? Are you using the most trendiest things in your videos? And the editing itself is important as well. So for example, with my reels, I knew that okay, what's really popular with podcasts and when people are speaking is Instagram has those captions for the reels, so I make sure I put those in every single one of my reels. And I know at some point it's gonna get old and I'm gonna have to switch it up for my audience, but for a 30 days period I think it was fine and I think it worked out great. And that's kind of like the science I did behind that, picking out clips from my podcast videos that I felt would entice people to watch, you know. And sometimes it didn't necessarily always have to be like enticing. Sometimes I just also wanted to put honest content that I thought was interesting or that I thought would help my guests reach their audiences better. It's always sometimes especially at least in my field for podcasting, you have to be selfless. Not in, I don't think in a lot of the reels, like I'm not in a lot of them, it mainly focuses around my guests, and again that's to promote engagement between what I'm doing and also their audience. So maybe they see what I'm doing and it entices them to at least click on my page once and check out what the fuck I'm doing, and if they rock with me, great, now I get a follow. Sorry, I was holding you guys back from these analytics. So from doing what I'm doing, right? Here are my account insights. So before I started all of this, this is fucking crazy. Okay. So my account reached is up by 403%. I have reached 35,500 people, accounts. Accounts that I have engaged is up by 617%. We are at 2,584 people engaged. And then also followers, we've gone up almost 60%, 59.4%. And we're at the moment of me recording this podcast, we're at 547 followers. So that's a lot of food for thought. And again, my plan was just to post 4 times a day. Also, what came into what I was doing was also the story aspect. And again, it's about being really creative with this. Marketing is about being creative, being different, and how to also, it's like being eye-catching to everybody who's passing by your page. Like I said, the stories kind of had like a little back and forth. I kind of learned how to do it better halfway through, because what I haven't been seeing is when people have a podcast, them really promoting it through their story. Because I realized that story doesn't really cause engagement, but it causes people to just kind of flip through. And if you give them enough information to kind of look at and be like, okay, like I want to keep looking through this, it's great. Because it sucks, because usually with most of your stories and people who have seen their stories, I think anybody, whether you have a personal account or whether you have a business account, you see that people really fuck with like the first like couple stories. Like let's say you have 10 stories, right? Literally, like if you have 10 followers and you post up 10 stories, you'll literally see the first post has 10 people viewing it, and then 9, 8, 7, 6, until like you're the earliest post. If you post a lot like that, like then the last post story you posted up has like 1 follower, 2 followers or whatever, right? And it sucks. So you got to keep that in mind. But what I try to do different there was I try to say a story, tell a story in my story. What a fucking concept. But I didn't see anybody else really doing that around what I did. And I think it also helped like my followers engage in my story, so they could really flip through and be like, oh, do I really want to see who this person is? And it even helps the artist more, because when you look at somebody's Instagram page, especially if they use multiple pictures going through each like in a post, you know, like 5 pictures in a post, like I could look through those and then pick out pictures that I think are dope that people aren't going to regularly see when they go down in their Instagram page. So I thought that was really cool, and it gives like a deeper insight into the artist, and especially if they have a lot of content on their Instagram, like it makes it great for the story. So that's something that I kind of was working through a bit, because I knew I had to post up and like keep my stories engaging. So that's what I did there. And I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent on how I broke down my Instagram, but I think once you hear some of those percentages, you're like, what the fuck, how did that happen? And I'm kind of just trying to spitball on like what my idea was marketing wise. I focused on 3 major platforms, which was YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And then I kind of had a moment with Lupe after her podcast, where I realized that I'm literally like not even doing what I'm preaching. And that's another thing. Consistency is something you're going to hear a lot throughout this podcast. Consistency is so fucking important. And what I like to think about between 3 platforms is that you're getting a little bit different on each platform. And like I said, if people are fucking with what you're doing and they get to consume more content on different platforms, that's great. And what I was doing before was that I was putting my reels on my TikTok, and I found that that was not really that helpful, because I'm basically giving them the same shit I'm giving them on Reels that I'm giving them on TikTok. So why would they then follow my TikTok? Why would they just check out the same content on a different platform? That is so stupid. So I started telling Lupe, and where self-love plays off, I'm going to always bring back a whole bunch of things, what I was talking about before, but how self-love plays into what they're doing on TikTok is like, you can't give a fuck about what you're posting up. You can't give a fuck, because if you start giving a fuck what you are posting up, then you're never really going to find the true potential of what is possible, what can happen. And it's just super hard doing that as well. But yeah, no, I was giving Lupe advice on that, and literally I told her, I was like, listen, we could just grab our phones, I'll scream into the video, you could scream into the video, and boom, that's a TikTok. Did it hit off? No, it didn't hit off. But I think it shows people another side of like who I am and how I run this business. And that's how I'm looking at TikTok now. I'm like, okay, when people are done consuming my high quality content on Instagram, they could then look at my TikTok to just see another side of me, a behind the scenes. Like I'll take behind the scenes pictures, videos of what I'm doing. And if they want to see that type of content, they go on TikTok. And then on YouTube, they're literally seeing everything I have, like the full bodied podcast. Although I will say this, there's a caveat to what I'm saying, because YouTube has their own version of TikTok, as most things are starting to now. I think Twitter might have it, but I'm not sure. But YouTube has their own version of TikTok that is called Shorts. And I found that has been it's people engage with my shorts way more than they do with my YouTube videos. But I think that YouTube has a strong enough ecosystem within itself that posting up shorts is so fucking worth it. For example, I might have an hour and a half, 2 hour podcast that gets a max of like fucking 40 views. And that sucks, yo. That sucks. I look at that and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And I'm starting to put all my tags in it. It's so important to put all your tags in your videos, making sure that your videos are easily searchable through the search engine on YouTube. But I started realizing that a lot of people would like and comment on my shorts that I'm putting up. And if they're liking and commenting on your shorts, all they need to do on YouTube is click on your short, your username on your short, and boom, now they're at your channel, and now you could probably get more subscribers. And like I said, right now, I think at the time of this podcast, I'm at like 86 subscribers, and I think on view totals I'm probably around like 2.2k. And to become a partnered YouTube creator, I think you need at least 1,000 subscribers, and I forget the amount of views you need. But I could actually, I wish I could look that up right now, but I can't, because I'm gonna keep going on what I'm talking about now. But yeah, marketing. That's basically like my whole marketing plan in a nutshell, was to tackle TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, use the Instagram Reel algorithm to start getting myself promoted to other accounts. And then, one of the biggest things on Instagram I forgot to mention was the power of collaboration posts. Instagram has killed it with that, yo, because tagging someone was not enough. But now the fact that I can make a post and it'll post on not only my account, but also the other person's account has been fucking key to everything I'm doing. And honestly, I think that's one of the biggest things that helped me get engagement and also helped me get followers as well, because not only are people seeing their favorite person that they're following post something up, but they're also seeing my name behind it. And then they click on they like that post, and engagement is so fucking important. And I'm not even just talking about people engaging on your post, but also you engaging with them. It's something that constantly, like, I know Gary V's like kind of, oh, you watch Gary Vee, or you're so fucking like, inspired and shit, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't give a fuck. Some of the shit he says is so fucking important, to be completely honest. And one thing he was talking about in a video, and it's actually affected me more recently, I think like a week ago, he was like, y'all want people commenting on your posts, but you don't even comment back? Like, what the fuck? And sometimes I look at it and I'm like, yo, what I'm doing sometimes is it feels fucking cringy. I'm not even gonna lie. It feels fucking cringy. But at the same time, I think about, if I comment on somebody's post and they comment back to me saying whatever, that feels fucking great. It's like the most human thing you can do. Like, it's like, think about it in real life, guys. Think about it in real life. You're walking down the street and you just see somebody like just glowing and being happy and saying hello down the street. You're not going to be an asshole to that person. You know what I mean? They're just saying hi. They're just saying hello. Even if they're a fucking stranger, who cares? Like, you smile back and you wave back, unless you're a bitch. Honestly, I don't know. That's like the only thing I could think about, honestly. Like, but yeah, like if somebody comments like a fire emoji, I'll put a fire emoji back with this emoji. I don't know what you call, for the listeners, I'm putting my hands up or whatever, like in that almost field goal kind of, when you're playing like hand football, whatever the fuck it is, whatever. But yeah, like I'll comment back that if someone says this is super cool, I'll say thank you. Everybody who DMs you, everybody who shares your story, you need to make them feel important and acknowledged, not because that's just what you're supposed to do, but you should feel that yourself. You should feel that yourself. These people are sharing your music, they're sharing your posts, they're sharing, and you're not going to reward them with at least a thank you? Are you fucking bananas? Like, seriously, like, it seems like such simple things, but it's other things that why I said in the beginning why self-love plays into this so much. Because if you really love yourself and love what you're doing, you know that you're fucking dope, and numbers don't mean anything. Self-love doesn't, like, how many people love you? Think about it like this. How many people love you does not have to do with your own self-love, period. Whether everybody hates you or everybody loves you, that shouldn't affect how much you love yourself. You knowing yourself and knowing what you do and having confidence of what you do will make you like view these situations as like more appreciative and being like, holy shit, like they're fucking with what I fuck with, or they're fucking with what I do. Great. I need to talk to them and tell them thank you. And obviously there's those moments where you get somebody that's like weird. You're gonna have weird moments. It's the fucking internet. Like, when hasn't it been weird? But yeah, you're gonna have weird moments where and in those I kind of just say, go with your gut, and always try to spread love and positivity. Who the fuck cares? You know, just try to spread love and positivity and do the best you can. And yeah, that I don't think I've really left anything out. I'm kind of spitballing here, but that was basically like my whole marketing plan for how I was gonna attack June in Jersey. And you know what? At the end of the day, I didn't do it fucking perfect. Even today, like, I'm behind 2 posts, but guess what? Like, it still comes out well. The content that I'm putting out has high quality value behind it. And like I said, like, I don't want to derail into too many conversations, but I will just say this real quick just for that. And if you haven't taken notes yet of what what I've been saying so far, fucking get your notebook out. What the fuck are you doing? Hold up. Damn, I've been talking for a while. Shit. I was gonna say I pump out high quality content, and the obviously the content that I started off with this month has completely changed. So I've changed cameras and how I do everything here. That will only carry so much. What will carry more than the quality is always the content. Always the content. Perfect example. For example, Sully. In his podcast, he doesn't have a fucking crazy camera like I do, straight up. But his editing is so fucking good. Good to the point that when he made a video for me, a collab post between Beto_music and his podcasting Instagram, the first day I think it hit like 600 likes and it hit like 10k views. That was fucking crazy for me. Like, I was wild about it, and the editing was so good. On the top you see my face and his face, and it's like in 1080p. It's not even fucking bad quality content, bruh. But like, you know, you're comparing it to the 6k camera that I have, but it doesn't fucking matter. I did this camera because I had the means to. I got a great deal on it, so I fucking went for it, right? Regardless of all the reels I've posted up, regardless of all the fucking reels I've posted up, the one that he posted up that had such good quality content, that post blew up like 3 days later, and it hit, I think it's almost at 3,000 likes. Look at that jump from 600 to 3,000, and then it jumped from 10k views to I think almost 40,000 now. That's fucking wild. And it was because it was edited so fucking beautifully. And so, like I said, this was my whole marketing plan for this month, and it paid huge dividends. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it was a fucking bitch to work. I work like a fucking animal, and if you could get a team before you do something like this, please do, because this shit was fucking wild. I'm just going to move on to the next topic, fellas. If you have any questions about marketing or anything else like that, send me a DM, comment down below, and I'll try my best to get back to all the comments. But that was basically my whole plan. Even if you don't fuck with anything I'm saying, let me know down below too, because fuck, I want to get better too. Call me a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck. This next topic is fucking crazy and will change your life. Networking. Networking is fucking going to be key to everything you do. And you'll see that a lot of these topics that I say play hand in hand, and it's hard to be good at all of these at once, and you kind of have to pick at them little by little, right? So networking. What does networking mean? Networking, I guess in my definition, is just talking and making links to as many people and making relationships with other people so that you can then make relationships with the people that they know. So for example, let's give people that you're familiar with. Matt Philippek. Technically, I met Shane through Matt because I met Matt in college, made a good relationship with him. Then he introduced me to getting an internship at a studio that Shane worked at. I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity if Matt technically wasn't in the middle. Doesn't necessarily mean that Matt was the only way there. There's so many avenues, and that's why networking is important. For example, if I had gone to another person who also like another person I had on a podcast, Nathaniel, I could have went to Nathaniel and be like, "Hey, is there a studio that you know that I could intern at?" He would have told me the same studio that Shane worked at. Boom, that's networking in a nutshell. You know, you'll start to realize the more people you talk to and the more that you really dive down into your industries, it will fucking make everything better. And part of networking is just being a good person. Ugh, damn, I'm kind of like, all these topic guys, they fucking kind of interject. So I'm sorry if I'm like hopping around with this shit. But yeah, I'm kind of just gonna mix these two because my next topic was actually being a good human being, because networking gets hard sometimes because you will meet, and especially in the creative industry, in the artist industry, you will meet pieces of shit. It's just, it happens. I think it's an unfortunate side of our industry, but you kind of just have to put a smile on and always show love. That's kind of my rule. No matter who you are, what you are, I always just try to show love and positivity, because whatever they're putting back into the universe will come back to them. Whether you believe that or not, I believe it's the fucking truth, and I see it happen all the time. All the time. You can't live in this world and be successful and expect other people, because think about it like this: networking and everybody's kind of connected to each other, right? Say you're mean to, oh, here's a perfect story that I talked about on the podcast before. I had a friend who was a dancer, and he was going into a dance audition, right? And there was this fucking asshole other dancer who was auditioning with him and just treating everybody in the room like they were lesser than him. But huge ego, right? A random guy was holding open the door for both of them as they were entering the room. And I don't know exactly. My friend, he said thank you to the guy who was holding open the door, and the other guy had said something snarky to him, right? When they finally get into the audition room, the asshole dude goes into audition first and then comes out of the audition with a blank face, like a fucking, he's just seen a ghost. Then my boy goes in there to audition, and guess who is sitting out as one of the two people who are the judges for the audition? The guy holding open the door. You get nothing by being mean to anybody. Period. You get so much from being nice to someone, and it's really just about not expecting to get anything from anybody else. Like for me, I get satisfaction just by treating people the right way. You get what you give. Give everybody love, and it will come back to you. If you give people hate, it will come back to you. And I think I honestly just think it's as simple as that. And if making other people happy by just smiling, you know, like Jesus, like I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but bruh, like I can't tell you how many times like I've been at a deli or a convenience store and I look at the person who's serving me and they're not smiling, and I just say thank you with a big smile and like have a great day with a big smile, and it's contagious. It's just contagious. You see somebody smiling and it's just fucking contagious, yo. You know, like spread that love, spread that positivity. I know I'm sounding like a fucking hippie. I don't give a shit. But like I said, it's a huge part of networking is being a good person and not being too quick to judge. You never know what people are going through. You never know who knows who. And you don't want to think about it into this, like thinking about it in a way where it's like, oh, I'm going to be nice to everybody because I never know what they're going to give me. No, fuck that. Don't think about it that way. Because if you think about how, like, you know, just because you give, you need to receive, you will never get anywhere with that. You will never get anywhere with that. You need to give just to give. Be selfless. And trust me, it will come back to you. Don't expect it, but it will come back to you. And that's something that you're just going to have to trust and have faith in with what I'm saying. The next topic is saying yes to everything. This is a tough subject. This is definitely a tough subject. And I just want to check in with y'all. How y'all feeling? Is this cool for y'all? Let me know in the comments down below, because like I said, this is the first time I did I'm doing a solo podcast, and I feel like I'm kind of finally getting into the flow of it and feeling comfortable. Yo, the beginning of this shit was rough. The beginning of this shit was so fucking rough. But all right, we'll just move into the next topic, fellas. Saying yes to everything. All right. When you start off as an artist, when you start off as a creative, saying yes to everything is essential to your growing, to your growth, because right now you are young, you do not know too much, and you are basically a dry sponge. A wet sponge is someone who has the information and is just getting more and more and more. And when you are brand new to this shit, bro, you need to suck everything up as much as you can. Pause. And really just gain information. Every opportunity is a great opportunity. And anything that will cause you to provoke you to think, provoke you to learn, will be essential to your growth, and I will stick by that. Now, as you grow as an artist, the situations will change, but I think I will save that for another podcast, because this is mainly geared towards people who are at their beginnings and or either ready to get to that next step. If you don't have the basic foundation of what I'm talking about, and a lot of these stuff sound like basics, but it's about honing in into those basics and perfecting them, and from there you can grow. You can grow to the next level, because you'll see that if you rush yourself to get to these other levels, you won't see the outcomes that you necessarily want. Sometimes it's fake it till you make it yes. Like, for example, when you say yes to everything, because it's something that my professor back at William Patterson always told me, Dave Kersner, is say yes to everything. And for example, I would be scared shitless sometimes. He would tell me, hey, if you don't know how to wire up a show and someone's trying to hire you for that, fucking say yes. And I would be like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, that's ridiculous. But I would see people do it, and they would learn on the fly, on the spot, because sometimes there's no other way to do that. If you have opportunity, say yes. You never know what's going to happen. Even if you don't know. But don't force yourself into opportunities. Say yes as they come, because they will come naturally. There will be a whole bunch of opportunities that will come naturally. And when you're ready to level up, and you do level up, you will know. And I will save that for another podcast. I think I'm going to leave that there. Woo, we are flying through this, guys. I did not realize like I could actually talk by myself for this long. I bet a lot of you find that hard to believe. Okay. This is kind of, like I said, a lot of these topics kind of interlock with each other. And kind of something where I was saying before is knowing where you are in your journey and what this means to you. See you guys. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, fellas. Where you are in your journey and knowing what that means for you. Okay. This kind of has to do with ego. It has to do with ego, and it has to do with really recognizing where you are in your journey. A lot of people mistake self-love. There's a thin line between self-love and ego. You love yourself, love what you're doing, and yes, fuck with it. You fuck with your music, yes, like promote it. If you really fuck with it, promote it, right? But if you're an artist right now who's listening to this, when's the first time you wrote a song? Excuse me. When's the first time you wrote your song? Like when you were little? That's great. Would you promote and release that song now, the first song you ever wrote? Now, a lot of you might be thinking, probably not, right? I know when I wrote my first song, I think I was 12, and it was like on the piano, and it was like not even chords that made sense, and it wasn't even lyrics that made sense. At that level, I was like at such a novice level. The only way to know where you truly are in your journey is to educate yourself and network as hard as possible. And like I said, all these things kind of interlock with each other, but it's so important. You don't want to be arrogant to where you actually are in your journey. It's so important. There's a time to be like, take your shot, but know you're prepared for that. The people who are prepared for opportunities are the ones who are going to succeed. A lot of times in the industry, you find these cringy people, and I don't want to say cringy, but it's just because they're not knowledgeable. Like they didn't have anybody telling them what I'm saying to you guys right now. And I really hope that if you are this person if you're this person who I'm about to describe, bro, this is about to change your life. Sometimes people are cringy within the industry and they'll just make so much fucking noise, but their mixes, their music isn't mixed right. They could be their talent isn't necessarily there. Like they can't even hold like a proper note. They can't stay in key, you know? And on top of that, like their social media is just fucked. Like it's so random and it's not consistent. And it's like, yo, if you love yourself and you love your music and you think you got it, that's fucking great, yo. But if you are only basing what you are like and not comparing yourself to anybody else, it's a healthy comparison. Competition in this regard is healthy because you want other people to help you rise up, and you don't want to just think because you are putting shit out and because you're doing one thing right that everything is right. That's not how this works. How this works is that you're looking at the bigger picture. You're looking at everything that you're doing and being like, where can I improve? It's okay to release something and release that as a mile setter, as a milestone, right? Like how maybe you wrote your first song and that was your milestone. That was your first milestone. You're like, holy shit, I finally wrote a song and it's there. It has lyrics, it has a catchy tune or whatever, and you released it, and great. But if you've never grown from that, like what? And if you're still promoting that, like you're the biggest, like, and tough, not toughest, but like you're the hottest, like fucking artist out here. Like, whoa, relax, hit the brake, check out what other people are doing, and make sure that you're at least like reaching that level with them as well, you know? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, like reach their talent level, but like reach their level of like artistry, you know? And you really just don't want to be that cringy person. I'm not sure if I just made complete sense, but like I said, look at everything you're doing. Look at the people who are most quote unquote successful in the game, right? Look at what they're doing and see how you compare. And if your shit is really off and you're still mad about, oh, why aren't people looking at my stuff? Why aren't people enjoying my music? It's like, bruh, wake up call, yo. Like, you are not as hot as you are, but that's okay. That is complete okay. That there is nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But things take time. Things take time. Good things take time. Patience. Oh, patience. Guys, patience. There's gonna be things that you obsess over and you want right away, and as an artist and as a creative, we want things right away, you know? Like I told you guys how like well the podcast did for this past month, June in Jersey. I said the numbers to you, the analytics, the percentages. You don't think that I don't want more? Bruh, like there were nights I was here from like 8 o'clock in the morning till fucking 2-3 a.m. and I did the same shit the next day. It didn't happen too many times, but I was working long ass fucking hours that I've never worked in my life, and this was completely for me, and this was for fucking free. Like I wasn't getting paid to do this shit. I was doing it because I loved it. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Patience. I looked at everything I did and I was like, why am I not getting 1 million views? Like, why am I? And like, bro, that sounds so pretentious, but I was just like, damn, like I really put in the work. I did what Gary Vee said, you know, but nah, dude, patience. If I stay consistent at this, I guarantee you I could reach 10K maybe within a year or 2 years. If I had a team behind me, woo, It'll be over. It'll be over. For real though. But I have to have patience with that because these are growing pains. They're growing pains, yo. You have to be patient and you have to pick and choose your battles, and you have to know that the path you're taking on is the right path. As long as you're going in the right direction, that all that matters. But excuse me. As long as you're going in the right direction, that's all that matters. But you have to also make sure that in that direction you are making progress. For some people it will be slow progress. For some people there will be times where you jump. For me right now, this is one of those times that I've jumped. I've been doing this podcast for 2 years. The first year that we did this, we had no more than, I think, 40 followers. Now we have almost 540 followers. Like, I'm fucking happy. Like, what? Like, yeah, do I want more? But like, fuck, I'm so happy. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know? Conquer the world a little bit at a time, guys. You have to be patient. You have to wait and think about how you will grow from this. I'm kind of repeating myself. I'm going to go on to the next topic. I hope everyone's feeling great. I hope nobody has gotten too tired of my voice. All right. When you hear me do that, it's because this shit is so important. This shit is so important and will change your life regardless if you are an artist, whether you are anything. But trust me, this is key, because most of the artists that I have don't fucking have this, and you don't know. And I think it's because a lot of these artists that I work with are young. A lot of the people that I work with are young, but everybody I know who is older than me has this to a fucking bone, and the most successful people I know have this to the bone. And I will give you the secret right here on the AO Chill podcast, guys. And it's the most simple fucking thing ever. 2 words. Time management. I said it. I fucking said it. Time management. Guys, everybody has a rough life. And things happen that are out of your control. That's where patience comes from. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. For those of you watching me on YouTube, thank you so much. I don't know how I look like. Hopefully my titties don't look too big, but yo, I'm honestly having so much fun, guys. Okay. Time management. Get a Google Calendar. Get a physical calendar. Change your life. This month, I had to schedule 30 people. Those 30 people that I scheduled, I think about 10 of them rescheduled. And I'd say over half of them showed up late to the podcast. Now, I have nothing against them. And I harbor no ill feelings. But it does kind of show a couple of things that you need to take into account. The respect that they have for you could play into it. The respect you have for yourself, the standards you hold for yourself. And then also things that are out of your control. So why don't we dive into the one that's the shittiest one? Them having no respect for you. That kind of plays in also having respect for yourself. Something that I should have done differently for this month was add a more organized list of telling people what they should expect and what they should do. And it's about making yourself look professional. I don't know if I made myself look completely professional before the guest came onto the podcast, but they definitely looked professional when they were here. I treated it completely professionally. You know, really, before everybody came, it was a quick tour of the studio if they hadn't seen it before, and then straight into the business. And then after the podcast, after I got to know them, then we'd have, you know, our off-camera conversations, and I got to know them a little bit better. And then more respect was gained there. But showing up on time is really showing up early. And doing that for people who have been in this industry enough, you got to think about bigger picture. And it's hard to when you're so novice at this shit. When you're novice at this shit, you don't realize that everybody who are the biggest people in the game do shit on time. The people who do the most successful shit do shit on time. They work like clockwork. Now, it's not robots, right? But it's about just getting more organized. Like, for example, if I didn't know what hours I was going to edit for the podcast, there was no way I was going to be able to do this. Some days I knew that like the full day I was going to have to go ahead and, you know, just edit all day. That was just part of the process. Also, the way you look to other people and first impressions plays in with time management. Some artists really let me know that they are not capable of showing to stuff up on time. And that's just the honest, sad truth. And when people are just consistently late, it's just like, dude, get your life together. And it sucks because, you know, here's a part where patience kind of comes into it, and you have to, it's one of those, let's move into like having no control over it. Some people have difficult lives and they're grinding the shit out. And that's the shit that you kind of have to be understandable for. Some people are like fucking, you know, like they have kids, you know, they have wives, they have a third, fifth job that they're coming from, and they show up mad late. And that's the part where you need to have patience and be like, damn, like I really got to understand like what's going on here. I'll tell y'all a story, and hopefully he's listening so he knows that, you know, I care. What's funny is I had a funny interaction with Turk. I had forgotten to take his Polaroid, and he was really hard to get in touch of for like 4 days, and it was really upsetting me. And I was really getting like, the bigger picture was I was getting upset over a Polaroid, like get the fuck over it. But I was so obsessed with me doing my project correctly that I was like, I really need him to do this, and I already pushed 3 podcasts in front of him, and like he's really like making me like not angry, but I was just really frustrated because there was no great source of communication, and he wasn't answering his DMs. So the day of, he told me he was gonna come at like 1:30, then he pushed it back to like 2:30. No, he's gonna show me come out 1:30. Then he didn't text me for like an hour, and then when he was after he was supposed to come, and then finally he came like almost like an hour and a half after he was supposed to come, and he came for like 2 seconds. He was in a rush, but man, like that guy was so sweet. And before he came, I was thinking about writing this letter, just being like, dude, you're really frustrating the shit out of me, like like, and I was just, my ego had taken over my fucking brain. That's what it had done, you know. And I was about to send this whole emotionally like packed like paragraph to him over a fucking Polaroid. Like, and like, shout out to you, Turk, because you're a great guy. And I had like, I was just really at a low moment, and I was really stressed, and the podcast was stressing me out. And, you know, literally right before I was going to start constructing that text, he texted me that he was upstairs, took the Polaroid, gave me a hug, told me, hey, dude, I'm sorry, like, we'll talk soon, like, as soon as I get shit together, because I'm kind of in a lot of places right now, too. Damn. Was that a fucking lesson about patience or what? Because I was like, damn, I should have just been patient, not let my ego take over me. And this was like literally something that was out of my control. End of the day, worst that could have fucking, what was the worst that could have fucking happened? Let's look at the situation. What, I don't post up the Polaroid and I post on my reels instead? Like, get the fuck over yourself, bro. Like, I look at that and I'm embarrassed, but I'm sharing that story with you guys so you know that this is a growing process and nobody's perfect, not even me. Like, I might make a fucking bad mistake, but like, I think making that like mistake, you know, with Turk, and I think like at the end of the day, he I know he realizes too. He's like, damn, like that was kind of shitty what I did, but like, you know, move on from it. Like, dude, like there's nothing I could do about it. I know he's going through a lot of shit, and I'm kind of being I'm not being understanding enough. You know, I'm not having enough patience to be like, hey, I know you're going through a lot. Who the fuck cares about the stupid little picture I gotta take? It's really what it is at the end of the day. Patience, guys. You gotta have it. And if I'm not making enough sense, please DM me, please comment below, ask questions, talk to each other, guys. Like, let's make a fucking community here where people could ask questions. And if people fucking rip you in the comments, let's send love to them and just know you can talk to me. Fuck it, I'll be your friend. Okay, guys, sorry. Oh, This is something I talked about time. I guess we're still on time management. How are we doing on time? We're doing pretty good. Okay, this is one thing I wrote about time. I'll read it to you guys. Your time. Your time is the most valuable thing you have, but know that time is everyone's most valuable thing. And it comes down to this. If you let people push around your time, you don't have enough respect for yourself. If you are playing around with other people's time, you have no respect for them. And if it's neither of those, you need to get better at managing your time. Time management will change the way that you see your day, and not only work, but taking a break. Holy shit, I'm a fucking genius. Yo, taking a break, bro. Time management is not only about work. How the fuck did I miss this, bro? Time management is also about taking a break. And let me tell you, some people work hard as shit, but if you work hard as shit to the bone, it will make you suffer, dude. It will make you suffer. And there's no amount of work that is worth suffering over. Like, there's gonna be moments where you will sacrifice, but sacrifice is different than suffering, because suffering is something that is just fucking terrible. And I wouldn't suggest anybody work as hard as like go crazy. I'm getting a little bit choked up because I know my mom, like, she worked so hard and for her kids, for she was a teacher, and during the pandemic, she passed away. And when she was learning how to she wasn't good at using technology, and she worked so hard, dude. She worked so hard, and she wasn't good at using computers, and she wanted to find out how she could it make learning still as like interactive and as valuable online with her teaching as it was as her teaching in person, because her teaching in person was her favorite thing to do. And she worked, and I remember seeing her, and I remember telling her, "Mom, you need to take a break," because she would work, bro. She would work from literally like 6 in the morning, dude, and she would work till like 2 at night. And she'd do that every day. And she was doing this during the pandemic where everybody was fucking stressed. And you need to make time to make a break. It's okay to take a break. This month, I sacrificed a lot, yo. It wasn't easy. Like, I went into a deep place sometimes, because I was editing and I couldn't see my friends, I didn't get to see my family as much. And when you're really working on what you love, you're gonna have sacrifice. And like I said, sacrifice isn't the same as suffering, because although I was sacrificing the time I got to spend with my friends and sacrificing the time I got to spend with my family, I was doing it on something I loved. And you know what? If I could go back and do this month again, I think I'm realizing right now, I gotta admit it. Yeah, I suffered a little bit. I definitely did, because I gained a lot of weight during this journey, working so much and being just sitting down at my desk. I tried to stand up and change it up, but you don't want to overwork yourself. And I think my mom overworking herself made her heart give out. So time management is everything, guys. Managing your time, and managing your time includes breaks. There was no moment that I was just sitting in my studio at all, just working straight through. I took time to eat. I took time to walk outside a little bit, but not as much as I should have, because the work was a lot. I'm sorry that I'm crying on camera, fellas. It's just these are lessons I learned that were hard. They were hard ingrained lessons, and it's something that is hard to apply today. But it's funny, self-love plays into this. You gotta love yourself enough to make time. You gotta love yourself to make time. If you are truly going for this, you will realize that you are different than everybody else you look at. And you will realize what other people are really willing to sacrifice to get into this game. It's not easy. It's not, as you can tell. But stepping up your time management game will change your life, for sure. It will change the way people view you naturally. Not the way that people view you, like, oh, is he a great? Even if you're an antisocial person, bruh, I'd rather have the person who's on my team who is on time and does his job on time in a timely manner, rather than the guy who just makes me feel good and he's great, he's a fucking baller to work with, but he's never on time. It's holding yourself accountable. Accountability is a huge part. I know I kind of got off track there, but this is what plays in. This is the core of what you're trying to do, you know? A part of it. So let's just review it real quick. Time management is getting to places on time, respecting your time, respecting other people's time. And if not that, if it's not fully that, then it's also just getting good with your own schedule. Show up on time. It will change the way people look at you in a natural way. I think I had something written on the bottom of that. We kind of talked about this already, but I'll just touch upon it one more time. You're going to have to sacrifice things, right? Yeah, I already talked about that. Fuck it. All right. I'll let that go. I think we're at the last topic, guys. We're definitely at the last topic, and we're getting close to the end of the podcast. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the people around you and the person that you talk to in the mirror. Throughout this journey that you take and everything that I've said today, you are going to meet a plethora of different people. Some people will rock with you and some people won't. Doesn't mean you can't show them love, but there are going to be people who might just want to use you for your success. When they see that you finally do something really cool and you've done a milestone, they'll be like, oh my god, and that could come in so many forms of things. Like for example, when you post your first song and maybe it gets over 500 plays and everybody's like, oh my god, that guy's so popular, you know. I guess in this day and age they wouldn't fucking with 500, but let's say if you got over 10K, I mean that's fucking impressive. Or even get 100K, who the fuck cares? Who gives a fuck about the number? The point being that when people see you getting success, they will want to hop on. And knowing who really values you for you and not just values you for what you can bring to the table is key. Is super key. Surround yourself with people who love you. Surround yourself with people who could give you also a touch of reality. And by reality, I mean like basically saying like, oh, yo, this last product you put out was kind of shitty. Or another person who's like, maybe you could have done better on that song, or maybe you're losing your brain a little bit, you know, like get a therapist. I didn't even touch up upon that, but I've said it enough in my podcast. And like I said, if there's anything that you guys want to add to this or think that I missed, please put it down in the comment down below, and I'll try to make a better video next time, maybe a better podcast. But surround yourself with good people. You will lose people. I've lost people. I've lost good friends in my life, and it's a part of the journey. And you know what? You realize when you lose those people, it hurts. It will tear you apart. It will be a pain that you get better and better at managing, but when you do let things go, you make room for other things to take its place and grow and help you grow. And that's where I am now today. And I wouldn't have been here today if I didn't have an amazing support system and amazing people behind me, and knowing myself enough to know which people are there for me. And unfortunately, there are people today who still leave my life, but there are still other people who I meet, and I know that their best intentions are there, and I know that they love me, and I know that they support me, and it's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. And check yourself. Check yourself. And if you don't have a therapist, definitely get a therapist and talk to him, and talk to him about the actions of your friends and how they're treating you. Sometimes it's always good to have a third eye, and sometimes your third eye could be your parents. And if you don't have good parents, it could be your cousins. It has to be somebody who'll give you a third eye view of everybody else. And then look, this kind of plays into talking yourself in the mirror, looking at the person in the mirror, because the hardest challenge you will have is yourself. And I think this all comes down to the end of the podcast, guys. I'm actually going to grab my iPad real quick and kind of give you a short summary of how all this plays together. I know, like, talking to it, I said one of the last things, like, the person you speak to in the mirror, but it kind of plays off with the summary. So, guys, we talked about chasing your happiness. We talked about chasing your happiness and chasing something. Chasing your happiness is important. Okay, let me start again. I'm sorry. Number one was chasing your happiness. And this is important because doing what makes you happy will give you the fuel that you need for your ambitions. It will inspire you. When you try to find things that make you happy, it will inspire you. And that's why you need to find your happiness and make sure that what you're doing is making you happy, because those will be the most selfless thing you do when you have that drive behind you. It will drive you to do what you do. Like, doing this podcast makes me so fucking happy. That's why I do it. And that's why I go through all these pains that I do, makes the sacrifices easier. And I know that I'm kind of hopping around the place, but I will try to go down this list as much as as organized as I can. Self-love is part of what is looking yourself in the mirror, having respect for yourself, loving yourself, and knowing what is best for you. And I know I'm kind of simplifying the shit out of that, but just go back into the podcast and listen to what I say about self-love. It's about not letting people push you around. It's about not doing things that are detriment to your body, not that are detriment to your career. Give yourself time to give a break, take a break, take a walk, focus on your health, love yourself to not put yourself through pain. And that comes in so many different forms. The next thing is marketing. When you open up as an artist, dude, learning how to market yourself is so important. Whether you're just trying to create an image or learn how to use social media. Social media in the DIY world is the number one way that you're going to market yourself. Is the number way you're going to market yourself. So learn at least 3 social media platforms. Learn them in and out, and stay up to date with how they are changing and how they are doing new things to make things trendy. That's the biggest thing about marketing. Okay, and a big part of the marketing, you're going to make mistakes as you go in. You're going to post low quality stuff. You're going to post cringy shit. Who cares? You could always delete something or whatever. If people want to bring it up later in life, that's great. When they bring it up to you later in life and you're fucking successful as shit, you're going to look back at that and be like, haha, that's what I need to do to get where I needed to be. And that's on self-love. Boom. Moving forward, networking. Be a fucking good person. Talk to different people. Talk to everybody. Be nice to everybody. Show love to everybody. You never know who knows who. All right? You never know who knows who, and you never know when you could use a resource from somebody else to to get an opportunity. And it's all, networking is all about giving yourself more opportunity. Don't ever network just to be opportunistic. Don't think that anybody owes you anything, but it will come along as you give love to everybody else, as you're a good person to other people. You never know. Networking could be as easy as holding open for the guy who's coming into the bodega. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. And then you overhear an conversation and boom, there you go. Being a good human being. I just touched about this on networking, but being a good human being, like I said, what you put out into this universe will come directly back into you. Okay? Pause. It will come back to you. Everything you put out in this universe will come back to you. And being a good person is like the most natural way of networking you could do, because then you literally just become a talkative person. You want to talk to everybody. You want to hug everybody. I'm not saying hug everybody, but I'm saying just be nice to everybody. You never know where that's going to lead you. It will lead you to wonderful places, and it's led me to wonderful places. And that's why I'm sharing this information with you guys. Say yes to everything, especially if you're new. There's levels to this shit. There is levels to this shit. If you're in the beginning levels, what the fuck makes you think you could skip to level 10? That's not how real life works. There's no cheat codes. This is not GTA. This is not anything else. There's levels to this shit, but say yes to everything. Even if you don't know. You never know what experience you will get with yourself. And then you mix in networking with that. Imagine you're in a brand new place that you don't even fucking know. You're being nice to everybody. You're talking to everybody. And maybe it's not your gig. Good. Maybe you find out it's not your gig. And then you could better work on your happiness. Because then you find out, hey, this shit doesn't really make me happy. I'm going to find what makes me happy. And I'm going to use that as another building block and being like, okay, good. Now I'm pointing into a more definitive direction. Maybe we're pointing in that direction before. Now you have adjusted course. There's nothing bad with that. You're chasing happiness. You're chasing it. Knowing where you are in your journey. I kind of just said this again. Like I said, these shits interlock. Knowing where you are in your journey. Respect the game. Respect the game. You're not going to be brand new at basketball and join the NBA. And you're not going to complain and shout to the NBA like, why the fuck aren't you letting me onto the team? I'm the best basketball player in my town. It's like, what the fuck? I'm the best basketball player in my house. I'm sure you are. What does that have to do with the NBA? You might be the most popular, best artist in your town. You might be the best popular artist in your county. Then you move up to north of where you are. And then maybe the state. So, if you are the best, I'm just going to say a stupid example. Fuck that. Anyway, y'all know what I mean. There's levels to the shit. Respect the game. Respect the levels. Don't be afraid to push yourself to get to that next level. But also have respect for the people who have worked to get there. And understand for them and learn from them. If you haven't learned everything you could at your level, that's how you know you're not there yet. Learn everything there and then move up, and then learn everything there, then move up, and learn everything there and then move up. Knowledge is key to this. Knowledge is key. Come on, guys. We just came from this. We just came from this. Time management and getting organized. What the fuck? I just talked about all this shit. Have self-love. Make time for yourself to take a break. Make time for other people. Have respect for other people. And get to places on time. Because that perception of you will change the game. Don't show up late. Nobody likes anybody who is late. Nobody. I don't like people who are late. It pisses me off. Every time somebody has been late, it pisses me off. I always say, yeah, it doesn't matter. But a part of me is always just like, dude, we could have gotten those 15 minutes could have saved us so much time. And sometimes it sucks because when you really look down to it, those are another 15 minutes that I don't get to use on self-love to go eat something, I'm very sure those people who have showed up late to the podcast don't mean to disrespect me, but maybe they don't understand what they're really taking away. And how could they? You get what you give. You got to respect it. You got to respect it. Because other people I know, like for example, like if they showed up late, it'll be diggities for them. I haven't built up a company yet that has built that reputation or respect yet, but I'm working on it. And for sure, one day I will get people who won't show up late. And the last thing of the whole review, the people around you and the people you spoke in the mirror. I know we just talked about this, but I will just say it again just for the end of the podcast. So important. Love yourself. Look into the mirror. Love yourself enough to know that you don't deserve disrespect from other people. If you have friends who are bringing you down, if you have friends who are using you, if you have friends who are being manipulative, look in the mirror and tell yourself, do I deserve this? The quick answer is no, you don't deserve this. You are better than this. You are strong, and it's going to hurt to move on from shit. But trust me, when you do, you will open up so many opportunities. You will open up so many opportunities, and you will fucking grow. You will grow, you will grow, you will grow, and you will become amazing. These foundational steps will change your life, and I guarantee it, because they have changed mine. And it's not something to simple just be like, oh, if it worked for you, it doesn't mean it works for everybody. This is something that will help everybody if you work on these things. Trust me, because they're the same pieces of advice I give to artists who I see who come in and ask me questions. These are the secrets to the industry. I guess this is kind of a little part one. This is the first time I've done a solo podcast. So I want to thank you guys for coming in and letting me express my art and express myself. I hope this podcast has helped you in some way. And even if it helped one person, just please let me know. Please let me know, because this lets me know that what I'm doing is helpful to somebody. I will keep doing these shits, but I just want to make sure that I made sense today. You know, and so I'll end the podcast with saying thank you to everybody. Oh my God, actually, I completely forgot. Since this will be the last time that I will get to speak on the podcast, and I know it's a little bit early, but this will kind of be like the credits to June in Jersey. I want to thank everybody who helped me with this month. I'm getting teared up talking about it, but it's just it's been such a big month for me, dude. It's been life-changing. I want to thank Shane for giving me the opportunity to being one of his partners and giving me this chance to be a part of the studio and do what I love. I can't thank you enough, man. I love you so much. You know that. I want to thank Aaron also for being another one of my partners and being so kind and being there to talk to me during this process and being there when I'm editing these late nights and making me feel not lonely and making me feel that it's all worth it, because I know it's worth it, because I know it's what I want to do and it's what I love and what makes me happy. Thank you to everybody who was on the podcast. Like all of you have fucking made such a huge change in my life, and I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I would name everybody right now, and I know I'm not gonna grab my iPad. Just, you know who you guys are. Everybody who just came on the podcast for June in Jersey, thank you so much. You guys have enriched my life. You guys have taught me so much. Each and every single one of you have taught me something about podcasting and helped build me into a better person. So I want to say thank you for that. I want to say thank you to my family for being so supportive. My dad, my sister, and my brother-in-law, and my little niece. I wish I was home more often so I could spend more time with you guys. But fuck, I'm trying not to cry. Fuck. Sorry. But I'm doing what I love. This is the fucking worst. All right, damn it, Jesus Christ, let's just get through this, Jesus Christ. And sorry, I was tearing up because I want to thank my mom too, because I wouldn't be here without that. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now without everything she's taught me. I know she's looking at me, and I know and I hope that I'm making her proud. Fuck me. Thank you to everybody. My mouth is dry as shit. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to my teachers. Thank you to everybody who has helped me to this point. And if I missed anybody, fuck. I'll let you know in person after you guys see this, but thank you so much. It means so much to me from the bottom of my heart. This is just the beginning. We have so many plans for the rest of July and August. And the rest of this year, it has literally just been like the full first month of production, and look how much we have come. Look how far we have come, and look how much we have done. And like I said, this is just the beginning. Oh, Leo, thank you so much, bro. You're the fucking GOAT. You helped me pick out. He helped me pick out the lighting. He helped me learn how to use the camera. And he gave me so much advice. Thank you, Leo, so much. Oh, fucking. Why am I Jesus Christ, my graphic designer, thank you so much. The AO Chills thing that you're seeing, bro, she made that, and she dealt with my annoying ass because I told her that I just wanted it perfect and I wanted it how I wanted it. So thank you so much to my graphic designer. You are the fucking best. Danielle, go fucking follow her. Danielle_graphics. Thank you so much. You have made this possible as well. I know I'm kind of going in circles here, but guys, thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the AO Chill podcast. You will find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at AO Chill podcast. And thank you so much, guys. I love you guys so much. We're finally through this. Enjoy the next 2 podcasts. Yeah. Let's get the fuck out of here.